They wear smiles like masks, speaking in soft, flattering tones. They echo your values and even praise your achievements, but only when you're not looking. These aren't friends, they're parasites dressed up in courtesy. Machiavelli, the master of tough human insight, warned about these people centuries ago. Not with kindness or hope, but with fire, suspicion, and sharp clarity. In the game of power, loyalty isn't a gift, it's a weapon. And the wrong friend can be more dangerous than 10 enemies standing in front of you. Machiavelli believed most people form alliances out of need, not genuine care. They don't love you, they love what you offer: status, safety, or a feeling of superiority. And the moment that advantage fades, so does their loyalty. Keep these people close, and you'll be sabotaged not by enemies, but by those who once swore loyalty with hollow hearts. Let's break down the 3 types you absolutely must cut off. First, the silent competitor. They act like your biggest fan, but there's always something off. They compliment you, just late, celebrate your wins, but without real excitement. When you shine, they go quiet like a candle dimmed by another's light. They don't hate you, they envy you. And envy is a slow poison. It turns admiration into resentment and leads to subtle sabotage. They'll manipulate conversations to downplay your influence, steer others away from you, or quietly cheer your failures. Machiavelli would say, if someone praises you when you fall and goes silent when you rise, they're not a friend, they're just waiting. Second, the perpetual victim. They always come to you with troubles, constantly needing your support, your time, your energy. They make you feel guilty for their unhappiness, weaving a trap where you feel responsible for fixing them. But Machiavelli warned, pity is a leash. These people drain your strength under the disguise of needing help. They make you feel noble for carrying their burdens, but no one carries yours. In their world, your needs always come second. Over time, you become weaker while they grow comfortable in their dependence. When you finally break, don't expect thanks. They'll blame you for not being enough. Then, there's the shapeshifter. This one mirrors everyone around them. Their words and values change depending on who they're with. You'll catch them speaking one truth to your face and a different one behind your back. For Machiavelli, this is the most dangerous type, not because they openly betray you, but because every word, every action, every bond is calculated. They wear loyalty like a costume, switching masks depending on who's in power. Keep them near, and you'll never know where they truly stand. It's too late, and they stand over you holding a knife. These 3 kinds of friends aren't accidents, they're tests, and most people fail. Why? Because cutting off a friend feels cruel. We confuse time spent together with loyalty. We think shared history means shared trust. But the world Machiavelli saw doesn't reward sentimentality. It rewards clarity, precision, and ruthless judgment when necessary. Greatness demands discipline, and sometimes that discipline means being surgical about who stays in your life. Real power isn't about how many people surround you, it's about how few have the power to hurt you. So, you have to learn to be cold not in heart, but in judgment. Pay attention to how people's presence affects your strength. Do they make you more focused or leave you drained? Do they lift your vision or distract you with chaos? Do they make your name echo louder in the room or work to erase it? You'll know deep down, you always do. Machiavelli's advice: the moment someone reveals who they are, don't ask for change. Cut them off. Not tomorrow. Not after one more conversation. Immediately, quietly, without drama or announcements. Power is silent. Let them feel your absence like a ghost. Let your silence remind them who you are. You don't owe them anything, especially not your destruction. They'll call you cold, heartless, unfair. That's how they try to pull you back in, not with force, but with guilt. Guilt is the leash they couldn't tighten while you were close. So when you step away, they tug harder. They say things like, after everything I've done for you, or, I was just being honest. But these aren't confessions, they're traps. Machiavelli knew manipulation's real weight often hides behind kindness, shared memories, the illusion of comfort. The second you put your vision ahead of their feelings, they'll reveal their true colors. Most people don't realize many so-called friendships are built on dependency, not genuine alignment. Weak friendships survive because no one wants to face the truth that a person isn't helping you grow, but holding you back, not because they hate you, but because your progress makes them uncomfortable. When you rise, they see everything they haven't done. So instead of attacking you directly, they distract you. They tell you to relax, to slow down. But hidden beneath those words is a simple truth. They want you stuck where they can still reach you. Machiavelli warned. The one who tells you to rest while you're building doesn't want your success. They want your stagnation. You have to break through this fog of emotional manipulation. These people aren't always loud or dramatic. Most are polite, even charming, supportive on the surface. That's what makes them dangerous. In your lowest moments, they offer comfort. But at your highest, they disappear or worse, pretend to be present while quietly working against you. Real betrayal isn't loud. It's slow, consistent, and always comes disguised as someone you trusted. Ask yourself, who in your life cheers your success the loudest? Who goes silent when you win? Who only reaches out when they need something? Who subtly makes you feel small? Machiavelli's advice here is clear. Observe, don't confront. Study these people with the cold, calculating eyes of a ruler, not the warm heart of a friend. Because once you spot who they truly are, you must act decisively, not emotionally. Distance yourself. Cut ties. No explanations needed. A king doesn't explain why a threat is removed. He just removes it. Your energy, your ambition there, your kingdom. You don't owe anyone endless chances or warnings. Here's a truth that's hard to swallow. People don't have to be evil to be dangerous. Sometimes, someone can be good, generous, even funny and still be wrong for your future. Loyalty is not the only thing that matters. The real question is, does their presence sharpen your edge or dull it? If it's dulling your edge, you're just carrying dead weight, disguised as friendship, and that cost is far higher than most realize. You weren't meant to carry everyone. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table you're building. Some people are lessons, not legacies. Cutting them off doesn't make you cruel, it makes your vision clear. And clarity, that's the foundation of power. The longer you let these shadows linger in your circle, the more light they steal. One jealous whisper can poison 10 admirers. One manipulative friend can undo years of discipline. One mask can hide a monster, and by the time it drops, it's already too late. Trust the tension you feel. If someone makes your gut tighten, that's not paranoia, that's prophecy. Machiavelli's warning. Listen to that prophecy, or pay the price for ignoring it. The real danger isn't strangers, it's the familiar. The ones who know your rhythms, habits, and dreams because you let them in. When someone like that turns on you, it's not just a betrayal of trust, it's a betrayal of access. They weaponize what they know. Your fears become ammunition, your dreams become leverage, and your silence becomes their stage. Machiavelli captured this perfectly. A man must learn to be both fox and lion, clever enough to spot traps, strong enough to tear them apart. But most only learn to roar like a lion, reacting loudly when disrespected or betrayed. That's not power. It's weakness disguised as strength. Every reaction is a vulnerability. The truly powerful become foxes. They say nothing, they simply disappear, quietly and completely. No confrontation, no closure. Because closure, that's for the weak. Power doesn't beg to be understood. This is why cutting off the silent competitor, the perpetual victim, and the shapeshifter is so crucial. They all work the same way. They distract you. They shift your focus away from yourself and toward them. They turn your growth into a shared performance, where their opinion of your success matters more than your success itself. That's not friendship. It's psychological theft. Ask yourself, how many times have you watered down your ambition to keep someone else comfortable? How many achievements have you downplayed so they wouldn't feel bad? How many decisions delayed because you were more afraid of their judgment than your own regret? These aren't small sacrifices, they're cracks in your armor. And Machiavelli calls them what they are: fatal. Your mind is a palace, but who you let in determines whether it becomes a fortress or a ruin. Every friend either helps reinforce your gates or secretly maps out the exits. When the moment comes when power shifts, or you no longer serve their comforts, these people make their move. Not loud, not all at once, but through small, surgical acts of sabotage, a whispered rumor, a chance not shared, hesitation when your name is mentioned. Machiavelli wrote that wise rulers never let sentiment cloud their judgment. The human heart isn't sacred, it's a tool, one that must be protected, sharpened, and sometimes closed off entirely, especially from those who mistake closeness for privilege. You owe no one permanent access, not even those you once loved deeply, because love corrupted by weakness becomes a chain, and every day you keep these people around, You're not showing loyalty or showing fear. Fear of being alone, fear of confrontation, fear of being seen as cold. But listen closely. Being feared isn't the worst thing. Being forgotten by your own potential, that's the real tragedy. Cutting off these three types of people isn't just survival. It's self-respect. You're silently declaring that your path forward won't be held hostage by guilt, nostalgia, or obligation. You're no longer the friend who sacrifices. You're the ruler who chooses. And that move from passive acceptance to active selection is where true transformation begins. Most never make that leap. They stay loyal to dead relationships, dragging around lifeless corpses of connection, calling it history, calling it loyalty, calling it friendship. But you aren't most people. You're not here to be liked. You're here to win. Winning demands solitude, selectivity, ruthless pruning of the wrong people, and sacred protection of the few who truly deserve your loyalty. So take a breath, look around, cut without hesitation, without guilt, because the deeper you go into your power, the fewer people deserve to walk beside you. Power doesn't come from adding more. It comes from subtracting the unnecessary. The fewer distractions, the sharper your focus, the fewer weak ties, the stronger your core. Machiavelli knew this well. A man becomes formidable not by surrounding himself with many, but by surrounding himself with the right few and cutting the rest without hesitation. Every false friend you remove isn't a loss, it's a return, a reclaiming of your time, your clarity, your energy. Think of your life as a fortress. Every person in it either strengthens the walls or carves secret doors. The silent competitor carves slowly. They watch from across the room, mimicking your success while plotting your fall. The perpetual victim weakens your foundation, draining your reserves, pulling you away from your mission with endless emotional storms. And the shapeshifter, they're already inside, speaking your words, echoing your values until the moment they betray them for their own gain. Each one must go, because the danger isn't just in what they do to you, it's in what they make you become. Hesitant, distracted, diluted. You second-guess your instincts. You slow down. You soften. You trade sharp decisions for long explanations. You explain yourself when there's no need, and that is how power dies. Asterisk, not through dramatic betrayals, but by slowly losing your edge. Power doesn't fade with dramatic betrayals. It dies slowly, bit by bit, as your edge dulls. Machiavelli reminded us that power isn't given, it's taken, and once you have it, it must be defended like a throne surrounded by snakes. Don't apologize for being selective. Don't flinch when others call you cruel. Weak people moralize what they can't control. Your silence isn't weakness, it's design. Your detachment isn't coldness, it's strategy. A true ruler stays one step above emotional chaos. If that means cutting ties with people who no longer serve you, so be it. Here's the hard truth. The people you cut off won't suffer, they'll survive. They'll find new folks to drain, new stages to perform on, new mirrors to reflect their fake sincerity. But you'll breathe again, move faster, think clearer, execute sharper. The point isn't to punish them, it's to free yourself. Your highest self can't emerge surrounded by noise. Machiavelli understood that most failure isn't about talent or timing, it's about bad alliances. He warned rulers never to keep those whose interests aren't perfectly aligned, because one wrong friend, even if loyal, can destroy years of work with a single bad decision. So stop asking if you're being too harsh. Start asking, is this person helping me become who I'm meant to be, or are they anchoring me to who I used to be? If it's the latter, your decision is already made. You're just delaying the inevitably, and that delay costs you more than you realize. You don't rise by being nice. You rise by being necessary. And that demands intolerance, not of others' weaknesses, but of what you allow close to you. Detach, observe, act, cut clean. Never look back, because once you see someone's true nature, letting them stay isn't there. Betrayal, it's yours. And betrayal, you can't afford it anymore. There's a moment in every rise when silence speaks louder than words, when distance sends the message, when absence roars. That moment, when you finally cut someone off, isn't the end of your story. It's the very beginning. Machiavelli believed transformation always demands casualties, not physical ones, but emotional relationships that must be sacrificed for clarity. Attachments severed so vision can sharpen. He warned rulers to avoid sentimentality in matters of power, because sentiment blurs lines, clouds judgment, and breeds hesitation. And hesitation, that's the one thing no king, no strategist, no visionary can afford. You hesitate, you loosen it all at once, but in small, irreversible ways. The friends you eliminate, they don't always hurt you intentionally, but intent no longer matters. In Machiavelli's world, outcomes matter more than feelings. What counts is this: are they making you better, sharpening your instincts, challenging your weaknesses, respecting your time, or are they simply comfortable, keeping you comfortable too? Because comfort isn't safety. Comfort is decay dressed up as peace. You can't build anything meaningful in a garden choked by weeds. You need space, you need friction, you need clarity, and clarity demands killing comfort. That means saying no, leaving texts unanswered, declining invitations, withholding apologies. Not every connection deserves a clean goodbye. Some only deserve a door quietly shut forever. You don't owe explanations, you don't owe defenses, you don't even need to make them the villain. They just don't belong in the chapter you're writing anymore. Wondering who these people are? Look for the ones you shrink around, the ones who make you question your intensity, who mock your ambition like it's arrogance, who only reach out when they want something, who disappear when you need everything. They're not friends, they're weights disguised as wings. Machiavelli knew loyalty, once questioned, must be discarded, because trust, once cracked, is a permanent liability. If you feel it, if you suspect it, if your gut tightens when they speak, that's not imagination. That's instinct screaming through the noise. Trust it. Cut early, cut clean, cut without ceremony. Here's the deeper truth. Once you remove false friends, loneliness follows, but it won't last. What comes after loneliness is solitude, and solitude is power. It's where your thoughts realign, where your focus sharpens. Where your identity reasserts itself without interference. It's where kings are forged, where clarity becomes unshakable. When the right people come, they won't need explanations. They won't flinch at your silence or feel threatened by your ambition. They'll get your edge because they have one too. They'll sharpen it, not blunt it. But you won't find them until you let go of those who've overstayed their welcome. Until you stop mistaking shared history for shared future. You're not a caretaker of fragile egos. You're not a therapist for the emotionally immature. You're not a background character in someone else's story. You are the architect of your life. Every minute spent entertaining people who drain you is a brick stolen from the empire you're meant to build. Let them go. Let them question. Let them gossip. Let them turn bitter. Their reactions aren't your problem. Your greatest power is the ability to walk away, not angry, not desperate, but calm. Machiavelli understood this more than most. Power isn't proven by confrontation, it's proven by absence, by quietly severing ties that no longer serve your rise. No speeches, no scenes, just disappearing and leaving behind a silence louder than any explanation ever could. Because here's what most won't admit: cutting someone off doesn't just remove them, it exposes them. When your presence no longer protects, tolerates, or absorbs their weaknesses, their true self begins to unravel. You'll see them reach, react, retell history to make you the villain. Let them. The more they speak, the more they reveal. You don't have to defend your choice. Your results will do that for you. Machiavelli warned that sentimentality is a luxury only for those already in power. For the rest, sentimentality is a liability. So learn to be surgical, emotionally precise. Know when to hold on and when to cut. The three types of false friends: the envier, the exploiter, the mask wearer. They're not accidents, they're shadows drawn to your light. If you let them linger, they'll consume you. This isn't a call to cruelty, it's a call to discipline, to stop romanticizing every connection, to stop holding onto people just because they were there from the start. Because that hesitation, that difficulty, is what keeps you from becoming untouchable. Your ambition is sacred, your clarity is sacred, your time, your energy, your silence, they're sacred. Sacred things must be protected. One day, you'll look back and realize the most important moves you ever made were the ones no one saw. Not speeches, not arguments, not public fights, but quiet exits, unanswered messages, choosing to walk alone until you could walk with the right. Once Machiavelli said, "It's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both." But beneath those words lies an even harsher truth. It's better to be respected in solitude than surrounded by weakness. Loyalty means nothing if it comes from the wrong people. Your empire, whatever that is, won't collapse from outside attacks. It will crumble from the inside. If you let wrong voices speak behind your walls, so audit your circle. Be ruthless. Remember this, you don't need more people. You need fewer, sharper ones. You don't need louder support. You need real, silent loyalty. And above all, you don't need anyone who makes your future feel heavier than your past. Cut them off. Stand taller. Move faster, and let them watch from below as you rise. Higher. Clearer. Alone if you have to. Because Machiavelli never said to be liked. No one hands you power, it's something you take. And once you have it, you guard it fiercely, like a throne surrounded by snakes. Don't apologize for being selective about who stays in your life. Don't flinch when people call you cruel. Weak minds judge what they can't control. Your quiet withdrawal isn't weakness. It's a calculated move. Your detachment isn't coldness. It's a strategy. A true leader always stays a step ahead of emotional chaos. If that means cutting ties with those who no longer serve you, so be it. The hard truth, the people you cut off won't suffer. They'll survive. They'll find new people to lean on, new stages to perform on, new mirrors to reflect their false sincerity. But you'll breathe freely again. Move with speed. Think with clarity. Execute with precision. You're not cutting them off to punish their being freed from your energy. You're freeing yourself. Your highest self can't thrive surrounded by chaos. Machiavelli understood that failure rarely comes from lack of talent or bad timing. It comes from poor alliances. He warned leaders never to keep people whose goals don't align perfectly with theirs, because even one misaligned friend, loyal or not, can destroy years of work with one bad choice. So stop wondering if you're being harsh. Ask instead, is this person helping me become who I'm meant to be, or holding me back to who I was? If the answer is the latter, the decision is already made. You're just hesitating, and that hesitation is costly. You don't rise by being nice. You rise by being necessary, and necessity demands intolerance not of others' faults, but of what you allow to stay close. Detach, watch, act. Cut clean. Never look back, because once you see someone's true colors, letting them stay is no longer their betrayal, it's yours. And betrayal, you can't afford it anymore. There's a moment in every climb when silence speaks louder than words, when distance becomes the message, when absence screams. That moment, when you finally cut someone off, isn't the end of your story. It's a new beginning. Machiavelli said, transformation always demands sacrifices, not physical ones, but emotional. Relationships that must be cut for clarity. Attachments severed so your vision sharpens. He warned rulers against sentimentality. In power it muddies judgment, blurs lines, and breeds hesitation. And hesitation, that's the one thing no king, no strategist, no visionary can afford. You hesitate, you lose. Not all at once, but in small, irreversible ways. The friends you cut loose, they might not mean harm. Intent doesn't matter. In Machiavelli's world, results outweigh feelings. What counts is, are they making you better? Sharpening your instincts, challenging your weaknesses, respecting your time? Or are they just comfortable, keeping you comfortable too? Because comfort isn't safety. Comfort is decay disguised as peace. You can't build something great in a garden choked with weeds. You need space, friction, clarity. And clarity means you have to kill comfort. That means saying no, leaving texts unread, declining invites, skipping apologies. Not every connection needs a clean farewell. Some deserve a quiet door shut forever. You don't owe explanations. You don't owe defenses. You don't even need to villainize them. They just don't belong in your story anymore. Wondering who they are. Look for the ones around whom you shrink, who make you doubt your fire, who mock your ambition like it's arrogance, who only call when they want something, who disappear when you need them most. They're not friends. They're weights disguised as wings. Machiavelli knew that once loyalty cracks, it must be discarded. Trust, once broken, becomes a permanent weakness. If you feel it, suspect it, or your gut tightens around them. That's not imagination. That's instinct cutting through the noise. Trust that instinct. Cut early. Cut clean. Cut without ceremony. Here's the deeper truth. Once the false friends leave, loneliness comes first. But loneliness doesn't last. What follows is solitude. And solitude is power. It's where your thoughts realign, where your focus sharpens, where your identity reclaims itself without distractions. It's where kings are born, where clarity becomes unbreakable. When the right people show up, they won't need explanations. They won't flinch at your silence. They won't shrink from your ambition. They'll understand your edge because they have one too. They'll sharpen it, not dull it. But you won't find them until you'll let go of those who overstayed their welcome, until you stop confusing shared history with shared futures. You're not a caretaker for fragile egos. You're not a therapist for the emotionally immature. You're not a side character in someone else's play. You are the architect of your life. Every minute spent entertaining energy drainers is a brick stolen from the empire. You're building. Let them go. Let them wonder. Let them gossip. Let them turn bitter. Their reactions aren't your burden. Your greatest power is the ability to walk away, not angry, not desperate, calm. Machiavelli understood this more than most. Power isn't proven in confrontation. It's proven in absence, in quietly cutting ties that no longer serve your rise. No speeches. No drama. Just disappearing, leaving behind a silence louder than words. Because here's a truth few admit: cutting someone off doesn't just remove them, it exposes them. When you no longer protect their weaknesses, tolerate their flaws, or carry their burdens, their true self unravels. You'll watch them reach out, react, rewrite history to paint you the villain. Let them. The more they talk, the more they reveal. You don't need to defend yourself. Your results will speak for you. Machiavelli warned, sentimentality is a luxury only for the powerful. For the rest, it's a liability. You must be surgical, emotionally precise, know when to hold on, know when to cut. The three types of false friends: the envious, the exploiters, and the mask wearers. They're no accidents. They're shadows drawn to your light. If you let them linger, they'll consume you. This isn't cruelty, it's discipline. Stop romanticizing every connection. Stop holding on just because they were there at the start. Because that hesitation, the struggle, that's what keeps you from becoming untouchable. Your ambition is sacred. Your clarity is sacred. Your time, your energy, your silence, they're sacred. Sacred things must be protected. One day, you'll look back and realize your most important moves were the quietest. Not speeches, not arguments, not public battles, but silent exits, ignored messages, choosing solitude until the right ones arrive. Machiavelli said, "It's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both." But beneath his words lies an even colder reality. It's better to be respected in solitude than weakly surrounded. Loyalty means nothing if it comes from the wrong people. Your empire, whatever it may be, won't collapse from outside attacks. It falls from within. When you let wrong voices speak behind your walls. So audit your circle. Be ruthless. Remember this: you don't need more people. You need fewer, sharper ones. You don't need louder support. You need real, silent loyalty. Above all, you don't need anyone who makes your future heavier than your past. Cut them off. Stand taller. Move faster. Let them watch as you rise. Higher, clearer, completely alone, if necessary. Because Machiavelli never told us to be liked. Remember, power is not about being liked. Machiavelli never said that. It's about being respected and protected from within. Your empire, whatever form it takes, won't crumble from attacks outside. It will collapse from the inside if you allow the wrong voices behind your walls to undermine it. So audit your circle ruthlessly. You don't need more people in your life. You need fewer, sharper ones. You don't need loud support. You need quiet, real loyalty. And above all, you don't need anyone who makes your future feel heavier than your past. Cut them off. Stand taller. Move faster. Let them watch from below as you rise higher and clearer, and yes, even alone if you must. Because true power requires solitude, selectivity, and the ruthless removal of what no longer serves your ascent. Your ambition is sacred. Your clarity is sacred. Your time, your energy, your silence, they are sacred. And sacred things must be protected. When you finally grasp that, when you apply it with discipline, you become untouchable. The quiet ones, the unseen rulers, those who don't roar but rule through presence, precision, and unshakable clarity. That is the essence of power. Cut the wrong people loose, not out of cruelty, but out of respect for yourself and your future. You owe no one permanence in your life, not even those you once loved, because love corrupted by weakness is a chain that will hold you down. Choose your circle like a king chooses his counsel. Be decisive. Be selective. Be unyielding. This is your kingdom. Build it wisely, and when you do, you will rise higher than you ever imagined, clearer than ever before, stronger than anyone expects, and completely beautifully, unapologetically alone when necessary. That is the true path to power, because Machiavelli never urged us to be liked. He urged us to be feared and respected. And sometimes, being respected means standing alone. Your journey starts here. Rise with clarity, cut with precision, and own your power. That's your story, and no one else's. Let the world watch you. Just getting started.